All right, I am back with a brand new movie review. And this review is going to revolve around the movie Heart of Stone, which does star none other than Wonder Woman Gal Gadot herself on Netflix. This is another one of those high-budget action films that Netflix has released over the last 3 years, and I was pretty excited to see this film. I stayed away from any reviews and spoilers so that I could go in and see the movie and judge it for myself and do my review. And I have a lot that I really liked about this film, and I have a few things that I am going to nitpick. Now, I am going to also keep this review spoiler-free like I have the last few videos. I'm only going to read you the slight synopsis that they do have on IMDb of the film, which does not ruin it, but gives you a little kind of inkling as to what is going on. But I want to talk about the movie mainly on its merits of being an action film and something that would be on Netflix. So here's what the IMDb actual review says, and their little synopsis. It says, an intelligence operative for a shadowy global peacekeeping agency races to stop a hacker from stealing its most valuable and dangerous weapon. And with this comes a lot of twists and turns. Quite a few of these happen at the very beginning of the movie. I would say that the first hour of this film has a lot of twists and turns, a lot of interesting things that happen with these characters, and some interesting scenarios. Now, when this movie started, I also really dug the theme that they had for Gal Gadot. It almost reminded me of Wonder Woman from the late 70s, early 80s. It had that vibe in there. And the theme was really cool, and I was digging it. I was like, this is pretty freaking cool. But then by the end of the movie, this is one of the things I wanted to nitpick. By the end of the film, the theme actually got quite annoying because they only played the same theme over and over again. There was no variance to it. Here's what I will tell you worked really well. There was a pretty big cast of characters in this film. She is joined by Jamie Dornan, who is known from, I'd heard the name. I didn't know who he was, and I had to look it up, and he was part of that 50 Shades of Grey series, and I never saw those movies, so I can't gauge him as an actor because I've never seen him in anything else. And so this is my first movie with Jamie Dornan, but that's where he came from. I will tell you that both him and Gal Gadot did an incredible job with their acting. Like, these two really stood out. They were very grounded characters. They were really well done, especially Jamie Dornan's character. Now, along with that, though, we have a bunch of other characters. This shadowy organization that they discussed had some characters in there. And one of the characters that people might recognize is a guy named Matthias. I don't know how you say his last name. It's Schweihofer. He plays Jack of Hearts in the film, someone who is basically helping Gal Gadot throughout this film. And I really enjoyed the story to this film. I thought it was really well done. There were enough twists and turns and enough action to keep you very interested in what was happening on the screen. And I saw some pretty harsh reviews on this, and I don't understand what their gripe is with this film. It's another Netflix film. It's almost like they want to bash on Netflix for the action films that they come out with. But I'll tell you, they're better than a lot of the action flicks that are actually getting released in theaters. I think this movie would have done decent in theaters if it got released. I think she's a big enough draw now to where she can carry a movie, and she did her role well. Here's my issue with the film, though. I already talked about the score, the theme. Got annoying by the end. And the other thing I didn't like is that the different characters in this film, and the reason I brought up Matthias Schweihofer is because his character is a little cartoonish in the film. And that's the thing. There were a lot of different characters, and there were some other names, big name characters in here that we've seen before. You had Glenn Close in here. D.B. Wong is in here. There's some characters that we've seen in other films and some big names that are in this movie. But what's funny is it was very uneven with the acting of each of the characters. It was almost like they had a different writer for every single character. And the best way I could describe this is if you go watch the Tarzan Disney movie, when they made that film, like there were different animators working on these different characters, and they don't, all the characters don't match the same art style. And that's what I felt like with the acting in this film. It was just mixed all over the board. And I really wish the acting would have been more serious, like what Jamie Dornan and Gal Gadot did. But does it ruin the movie in any way? No, it doesn't. There are definitely some interesting things that happen. There's some high-budget sequences. There's a scene with basically a blimp up in the sky that's really well done. There's some skydiving, some other things that are really well done. At the beginning of the movie, there's a paragliding sequence that, I mean, the effects were amazing. They definitely spent a lot of money on this movie. So it is a top-notch production value film. Gal Gadot, Jamie Dornan did a great job with their roles. The story was good for an action film. So where it stands as far as action films go for me is it's definitely better than average. Like, this is a movie I would actually watch again, where there are some films that I've seen over the last couple of years that I would have no interest in watching those action flicks again. Some of those have been on Netflix. There was one on Paramount Plus with Mark Wahlberg, and I'm trying to remember the name. I could see the logo. It was like something Infinite. I can't remember what it was. But that, to me, that was like a forgettable film. It was okay. It was serviceable, but it's not something I would choose to really watch again, at least not anytime soon. This is a series that I actually hope that they move forward with. There's enough story here that they could really flesh this out to be a series of films that would be worthy of having films, for many, many years. I would love to see them do that. I just wish they would take the characters a little more seriously in a few cases. But that's it. So at the end of the day, I give this film 3.5 out of 5 stars. It was really well done, very entertaining. You won't be bored. There's some diverse scenes. There's diverse locations. And it was well thought out and well paced. There was never a time where I got bored watching the film. So I do think it is a film that is worthy of checking out. All right, if you guys have seen the film, let me know what you think down below. I do appreciate the support. If you haven't already, like the video, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and you will be notified as I have new videos go up.